Current products for acne, which are all antibacterial, by the way, antibiotics, benzoyl peroxides, retinoids, etc. They kill the bad bacteria because they're antibacterial, but they don't stop there. Because they're not specific, they kill the good bacteria as well. So it's kind of like turning the rainforest into a desert.
Wow.
And not only does that cause, these are harsh products, they cause a lot of side effects like dryness, redness, irritation. But the biggest thing is that because they're depleting your microbiome, because they've turned this rainforest into the desert, that depletes this really important protection that they bring to our skin.
Let's learn how our next guests get up, dress up, and show up on purpose. Enjoy the episode.
Hello, morning enthusiasts. Welcome to the Best Morning Routine Ever podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lumid, and today it's an honor, it's a privilege to be here with you. But I also have a very special guest that I am going to bring on, and we're going to geek out on all things science. He has he has extensive research experience, but his name is Yug Varma, PhD actually. He's the co-founder, and CEO of Phyla, the world's most advanced probiotic acne system. So funny because look at me. I'm here today with a big zit on my face. Out of all days, it's been here for 2 days, and it's like we're gonna take care of that. So Dr. Varma has 10 plus years experience of microbiome research, including an extensive background in bioorganic chemistry, microbiology, and synthetic biology. Dr. Varma received his scientific training at several distinguished academic institutions, including the Johns Hopkins University. And he lives in San Francisco now, and he also attended University of California. His mission is to change the way we treat chronic bacterial diseases, and he's working tirelessly to achieve this goal with a microbiome-based technology platform. So, Dr. Varma, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Lunid. It's a pleasure to be on, and big fan of your podcast and what you're doing here.
Yes, thank you. I'm really excited to talk to you about the holistic or the organic way to look at probiotics and the whole acne system and the platform that you have put in place. That's extensive, over 10 years of experience in it. So before we jump in, tell us a little bit about your journey so far.
Yeah, absolutely. You introduced me to your audience before. I'm a scientist and a microbiologist, bacterial geneticist. And I got my PhD from Johns Hopkins. I did a postdoc at UCSF, studying microbiome research for several years before I started this startup. And essentially, our technology allows us to, look at a disease state, identify the bacteria that's causing the problem, and just kill that instead of hurting or destroying the good bacteria that actually play a big role in keeping us healthy and preventing us from being sick. It's kind of like, if you went out into your garden one day and you saw a weed, you're not going to pour gasoline all over the lawn and set the whole thing on fire just to get rid of that one weed, right? But that's what we're doing. We set fire to our microbiome in so many of these indications, acne, eczema, other skin diseases, as well as gut diseases, where we now have much better tools to address that. And so I'm glad to be at the forefront of this, really applying cutting edge research to consumer products so that they get a new approach, a way to get the results they want without hurting their skin, damaging their health, and ultimately getting what they want for life, not just for a few months or a few weeks here and there.
Yeah. Now, is this your first startup?
It is my first startup.
That's exciting, and I'm like always curious to find out what brought it on, right? Because you look super young, by the way. For those who are not watching it, Dr. Varma looks super young, and with his background, it's extensive. But Why acne?
That's a great question. So, I was a postdoc at UCSF, and I was just sort of looking at the possibilities out there, what to do, what's for me. And being in San Francisco, being, near Silicon Valley, and there's, people know of Silicon Valley as kind of the tech center of the United States, but San Francisco is also the hub for biopharma research. And I was really interested in this one technology, which we've now deployed in our products called phages or bacteriophages. They're really, really powerful. And I wanted to deploy it in a way that would make a difference, that we could put in consumer products and put it in front of people instead of going through a really long and convoluted journey to that takes, decades and billions of dollars. And so while I was kind of looking at that technology and wondering what to do, these two things kind of clicked, came into focus together. And so, I did some research, wrote an NIH grant. We got the NIH grant, and that allowed us to kind of get going. But, that mission is always front of mind for us. How can we help people? How can we give them a different approach or a new way to tackle their problems without, them having to damage their skin or going for relapses?
Yeah, because that relapse is dry skin, which will then do more back buildup and dirt buildup and actually give you more acne. So it's a cycle that never ends beyond adolescence, right? even into
100%.
even into adulthood. And you said something that's very that stuck out to me is killing both good and bad bacteria. Can you elaborate on that more and how the current market products are doing that?
Absolutely. So, as a starting point, I love telling people that you don't know, but you have a rainforest on your skin, a rainforest worth of diversity that's protecting you and keeping you healthy. This rainforest is invisible, and its trees are made up of bacteria, viruses, and fungi. And we call this rainforest our microbiome, right? So it's this big community of microbes that's on our skin, it's in our gut, it's sort of coating us inside and out.
Yeah.
And it, kind of my field, microbiome research, has spent the last 20 or so years really looking at how this impacts our health. How is it responsible for health? How does it talk to our body, and how does it keep us kind of going? So, with this rainforest, all of us have sort of a pretty unique rainforest, almost like a fingerprint, right? But when we're healthy, we share one thing in common, which is that our rainforests, our microbiome communities are in balance.
I see.
Now, when you have a chronic bacterial disease, a bacteria comes in or grows out of bounds and causes an imbalance. So, in a disease like acne, you have the overgrowth of a single bacterium, and in order to get back to health, you need to redress that balance and recalibrate your microbiome, right? And rebalance it. But current products, which are all, current products for acne, which are all antibacterial, by the way, antibiotics, benzoyl peroxide, retinoids, etc., they kill the bad bacteria because they're antibacterial, but they don't stop there. Because they're not specific, they kill the good bacteria as well. So it's kind of like turning the rainforest into a desert.
Wow.
And not only does that cause, these are harsh products, they cause a lot of side effects like dryness, redness, irritation. But the biggest thing is that because they're depleting your microbiome, because they've turned this rainforest into the desert, that depletes this really important protection that they bring to our skin. And that is one of the main reasons why you see this constant relapse where, it's not that these products aren't effective, it's just that they're really harsh and you can't keep putting them on. When you stop, right, after a few months, your acne often comes roaring back. And that's because you've sort of depleted that protective layer along with it.
Is that an addiction then? The body gets used to it. It's almost like an addict. Like you need to keep using these products. And
right. But to be honest, these are not meant to be used for a long period of time. Like with retinoids, which are the most powerful anti-acne medication, it's actually very damaging to your body and your skin. It can cause birth defects. It can cause liver damage. It's even known to cause risk of depression and suicide. It's a real risk. So, I mean, people are very, very like heavily monitored. They have to have blood work and stuff on these products. Benzoyl peroxide, you can't keep putting that stuff on your face. It's so irritating. Antibiotics, no doctor is going to prescribe you more than 3 months of antibiotics, right? So with these products, they're not meant to be used forever. So you can't use them forever. And when you stop, you know what's coming.
Yeah. Everything starts wearing back, as you said. The acne starts popping back up. So it's almost like the formula is not tailored, because every skin is different, right? Every body's different, and we're talking about factors, compounding variables like your diet or your environment where you live. Like, we are both in California. We know we get the Santa Ana winds, it gets dry, and our skin takes a toll, our hair, everything. And so people who live out in the East Coast, it's completely different. Now they're getting this blizzard coldness, right? That dries up all their skin. So the products are not tailored to each individual. It's more of a generalized one hat fit all, and then it runs havoc on individual needs for our individual skin. So that's what makes you unique then. Tell us more about your product.
Yeah. So, like I said, our approach is completely different in that we're very specific in solving the problem, solving the thing that's causing the problem, and not causing any collateral damage or any, side effects beyond that. And it really speaks to the power of the technology that we're able to deliver this in the gentlest and most natural possible way by just recalibrating the microbiome to a healthy state.
Right. And you have a whole product line. So you're not just going in and kind of helping the existing big corporations. You created your own platform, your whole product line to help specific individuals.
Yeah, totally. That's right. And really our products are sort of a vehicle for our technology where we can give people this new way of, tackling their acne, and really giving people this chance for long-term skin health. Because, we talked about how these harsh products, they're not meant to be taken for a long period of time. Well, the truth is that acne is a chronic disease, which means that it happens over a long time period, and you need to have a solution that lasts the period of that, the span of when you're being afflicted by it. And so with these products, you apply them for a little while, your skin gets a bit better, then it gets a bit worse. I mean, I think most people are tired of that seesaw and that, they want to get off that train kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, with us, that's the possibility, because you can use our products day in and day out. They're meant for sensitive skin, meant for, not causing damage. And it's built for recalibrating your microbiome every single day for months and years, because that's when you're dealing with acne over months and years. And so in terms of our technology, we use these amazing organisms called bacteriophages. So bacteriophages, or phages for short, are these harmless little viruses that are already present in our body. They don't affect the human system at all. I mean, they don't really interact with human cells, but they are very, very specific and potent killers of bacteria. And so the C. acnes phage that we use for our product only kills the bacteria C. acnes that causes acne. They don't even affect the really closely related cousins to C. acnes on our skin. And they definitely don't affect the rest of the microbial community. And because we're able to target only the prime cause of the disease, we're able to keep the microbiome healthy, make it more resilient, not cause all the side effects. Dryness, like you said, a big misconception is that dryness is the solution for acne. And that's true to the point that it's an indirect cause, but it's really not the direct cause. And by drying out your skin, you have all these other problems. You mentioned some of these additional ones are fine lines and wrinkles, premature aging. I mean, your body secretes these oils for a reason. It's to keep your skin and your skin cells healthy and moisturized. If you remove them, you have a big problem.
Yeah. And the phages, they keep the good bacteria thriving. It's almost like a reset button, right? So that they can keep producing the bacteria to give us that natural oil, moisturize that we need.
100%,
for our skin. Now, I know we were talking about like aging, but like acne as an adult is no fun task, right?
Mhm.
Even getting one slight pimple like I do now on my forehead as an adult, it can decrease your confidence, right? How you show up in meetings. That adults should not have acne, but it does happen, and a lot of factors are into how diet or how healthy we are internally. So tell us about that piece, and let's unpack
Mhm.
that a little bit more.
Sure. You're absolutely right. Acne, as we know, is a pretty complicated disease. There are many, many factors that go into it. And some of those factors are diet, stress, genetics, your
Yeah.
hormones. And the fact is that about half of women in their 20s and a third of women in their 30s suffer from acne. And the number is similar, but slightly lower for men. Um, and so that's a huge population, a huge adult population that is,
Right.
trying to deal with this problem. So, the question is, like, how do we best tackle it, and what's going on? How do we pick it apart, right?
Yeah.
So what these other factors do, diet, stress, etc., is that they change the quality and quantity of sebum that's produced by our skin,
Hmm.
right? That's the oil that our skin naturally produces. So for example, we know when you stress, you sweat more, right? You perspire more. That causes sebum production to increase. When you eat different foods, and for each person that's different. Some people it's spicy food, some people it's chocolate or dairy or whatever. It's going to change the quality or quantity of sebum. Now, the sebum that's produced by our skin is the main food source for this one bacterium that's highly specialized to live in the pores of our skin. So when C. acnes sees this change in sebum, it may trigger, and for different people, there's different stressors. Some people say, I don't care what I eat, my skin stays clear. But if I'm stressed, it shows on my face.
Yep.
Some people say, look, stress doesn't matter. I mean, but it's really, I have to watch my diet carefully,
Yeah.
right? So what you're trying to do is indirectly control how much, sebum is produced on your skin. But the problem is not the sebum. The sebum is not giving you the acne, right? It's the bacteria that feed on the sebum and grow beyond what their normal amount of growth is, which leads to an inflammation in the skin. So your immune system basically reacting to that and causing inflammation. That's what acne is. So if instead of stopping the sebum production, which is natural and normal, if you can just bring the bacteria under control, doesn't matter how you sweat, doesn't matter what you eat, you can bring those factors a lot more under control. And really, again, address the prime cause instead of looking at the supporting factors and indirectly trying to solve your problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like a holistic approach, taking in consideration all those factors.
Right.
Because yeah, I mean, some of the results that your clients are getting are phenomenal. Like after 1 week of using it, they're seeing results, and I think you said the average they use it for about 8 weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
that's huge for trying to break the chronic disease, a chronic issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's something that we don't actually like to talk about too much, how fast it works, because at the end of the day, yes, that is a factor, but from our point of view, we want to have you acne free from now till forever, right? So for us, it's the start of a journey. And because we want long-term skin health, long-term clear skin for our customers, we focus on, okay, we got you the results. Now we got to keep you that way, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so it's really important. And I'm sure, as you know, and your listeners know too, whether it's your morning routine or your daily skin regimen, you have to have a stable, well-tolerated regimen that works for you, that you've crafted for yourself, and you've, researched, and it works for you because it's the optimal. So that's what we're offering to our customers.
Yeah, and so that platform gives you the advantage of knowing what routine to apply, how to use to create a routine for your skin. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's a thing. You need a facial routine, a morning routine, a nightly routine. So as we're talking about routine, we'll get into your morning routine as well. So how do you get up, dress up, and show up? What's your morning routine like?
That's such an interesting question, Lunid, because I feel like I've obsessed over this off and on for many years now. It all started with me figuring out when is the best time of the day to drink coffee.
Mhm.
And then I realized, and I'm a biochemist, so this stuff was really interesting to me, is that your body produces this molecule called cortisol, which is a natural caffeine, right? It keeps you awake. So you wake up in the morning, your cortisol should be firing, you should be really awake.
Yeah.
And so what I used to do is I used to get out of bed and, look for my cup of coffee. That's not the right thing to do. You have natural caffeine kicking in at that point. So you shouldn't drink coffee, right? So I realized that I had these gaps like mid-morning or like after lunch or early afternoon. And so now with my morning routine, I wake up, I don't have any caffeine. This also led me to like better practices of like exercising in the morning. I do like a circuit of high intensity interval training. So it takes me about 10 to 15 minutes, gets my heart rate up. And really that's my coffee for the morning.
Yeah, that's a good substitute.
Totally. I mean, just getting that like heart rate up, you're panting, you're sweating a little bit, you're really, pushing yourself. As part of my exercise, I do like 60 push-ups. I'm trying to incorporate more, other stuff as well, setting myself goals. But that to me is like, if I wake up and I do my exercise and I get changed and I shower every day, even in the pandemic, and I dress up like I'm going to work. I wear my shoes, I wear my button-down shirt, and I'm ready for the day. I think that puts me in a great frame of mind because I am not the kind of person who can like work in my pajamas. It just is not the right mindset for me. And so that's how I get ready for the morning, and that's how I face my day.
Yeah, the mindset piece is key. That's huge because it's almost you have to do that mindset shift because the way you think, what you're thinking about essentially grows. If you're thinking, okay, I'm ready, I'm prepped, I'm primed for the day, you're gonna show up that way. You're gonna present yourself that way in every meeting with your team members. And so I like that you are getting exercising first thing in the morning. I mean, even if it's so small, you got to get the heart rate up because you've been asleep for 6, 7, 8 hours, and you got to get the body moving so that it can give you that jolt of energy as well. And hydrating first thing in the morning, not with coffee, but water. With
Yeah, I
water.
wake up thirsty and I drink, a couple of glasses of water right away. And yeah, that gets me going too.
Yeah, and I want to hear like more about the benefits. Like what does that do for your team? What does that do for your business, right? Because these are the success principles we put in place for a reason. What are yours?
Oh, I mean, it has a huge impact. I'm able to focus on my work. I'm able to get stuff done. Part of my morning is I make a to-do list of things to do. So, because, as part of a startup leading, a small but really agile team, there's all sorts of stuff, before 10 in the morning, I have like, literally 20 things I have to solve or 20 fires I have to put out. So just making a list of them and just being able to check them off so that one part of your brain made the list, the other, the rest of your day, you just focus on that list and get it done. I find that very focusing.
Yes, yeah, because that's why we do it. Honestly, that's why I do it because I want to show up better for my team. Because I realize if I don't do the exercise in the morning, if I don't do the meditation, we're going to talk about that a little bit, then I'm burnt out by 3 hours into my day versus I can go on for 8, 10 hours and I still have the same gusto.
100%.
To proceed. What about meditation and quiet time? Because I know a lot of we got to keep feeding our mind as well. It's not just the physical body. So tell us about your routine for that mental aspect.
I've done different types of meditation. I find now that I like to take a walk in the afternoon, especially working from home, just get out of my one room that I work out of, get some sunshine, allows me to collect my thoughts too. Sometimes I listen to just like calm music, and I just like to let my mind drift. I'm really lucky that we have a wonderful park nearby. So that, it has these trails and it just allows me to kind of just passively in the back of my mind work on some thoughts, but mostly being just really present and being thankful and being like, today's a nice day, it's sunny and the sun is shining on my face and I'm able to walk out and spend a little bit of time on my own self. And in the evening, I don't know if this counts as meditation, but I love to do like crossword puzzles and stuff. So I do like a crossword a day. And I'm into Wordle, like you may or may not be, or most of your listeners might be. So just word games to kind of keep my mind kind of sharp and
Agile.
engaged. Yeah.
Gotta keep it agile. Yeah, that is interesting. You gotta do the mental. It's like a muscle. You gotta train it, the mind, just like
Exactly.
every other muscle. So that's really, really good. Thanks for sharing that. Now, how can we find you? Where can we find your product? Let us know.
So we are Phyla. Our website is phylabiotics.com. And so you spell Phyla Phyla. We are on social, on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at Phylabiotics. That's our handle. We're on TikTok now too. Yeah, you can get all of our products from our website, where we're kind of direct to consumer for now. We're excited to work on a couple of other channels this year, but yeah, those are the places where you can find us. And yeah, we'd be delighted if you visit our website. We have a lot of information on what acne is, all the stuff that we talked about, because I think education and awareness is such a huge part of it. And I feel like skincare consumers are the most educated they've ever been, and they're hungry for this knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Morning enthusiast, this has been Dr. Varma, and we are talking about all things clinical and scientific way to actually tackle acne. You don't need to settle for acne anymore. And the product line is 100% safe and natural, and it really is customized to keep your good bacteria in your skin where it belongs and not actually deplete them. So it's been an honor. It talks about your morning routine. I love you got to move in the morning. You got to get the body moving, even if it's 10 to 15 minutes. That really helps give you the energy and stamina you need throughout the day. It's been such a delight having you on the show, Dr. Varma. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Lunid. Real pleasure.
Absolutely.
Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please comment and tell us what was your favorite part, your favorite habit that you are going to try out for yourself today. Comment below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, I will see you at the top of your best morning routine ever. Stay blessed.